Hello everyone, it's great to see you again. We appreciate your presence with us today. We have an exciting new narrative to present, one that is genuine, unfiltered, and likely resonates with many individuals. Let us commence. Allow me to present William, an everyday man, a devoted husband, a caring father, and someone who, until recently, believed he had everything under control. For the last 7 years, William has shared his life with Florence as her husband. They share a 5-year-old son who is his entire world. If you were to ask William to sum up his life in a single word, he would likely choose stable. And that was precisely how he preferred it. He dedicated himself to his full-time job, earning a reliable paycheck, and maintained sensible spending habits. Though he lacked wealth, he ensured his family had all they required. A cozy abode, delicious meals prepared with care, and a feeling of safety enveloping the space. He found fulfillment in his roles as a husband and a father. For William, that was his calling. Florence, his spouse, possessed a unique quality. She was determined, focused on her goals, constantly in motion. Though William found joy in returning home, sharing a meal with family, and enjoying television, Florence was perpetually vibrant and full of life. Her calendar was filled with social gatherings, professional dinners, and weekend seminars. Yet William never perceived that as an issue. That was simply her essence. In his thoughts, there was a harmonious equilibrium. He was the reliable force while she was the ambitious achiever. Marriage may have lost some of its initial thrill, but that's just part of the journey, isn't it? They felt at ease. They had crafted a life together. To William, all was perfectly well. However, there is an important aspect of existence. At times, the fissures exist well before they catch your eye. By the moment you realize it, the opportunity has slipped away. One evening, Florence nonchalantly brings up her upcoming weekend work retreat. Nothing unusual to report. She has attended these events previously, engaging in team building, networking, and all the associated corporate activities. William tends to keep his inquiries to a minimum. What would motivate him to do that? Is a task. She informs him that it's essential, and she will be away from Friday evening until Sunday night. He gives a nod and replies, "Okay, enjoy yourself." With a tender kiss, she bids him farewell, gently reminding him to collect their son from soccer practice before disappearing from view. It's not a huge issue, is it? Merely another weekend. Another work gathering on the calendar. That was certainly William's impression. What if I revealed that this weekend was entirely free from work? Imagine if I revealed that Florence wasn't at the location she claimed she'd be? What if I revealed to you that, in mere days, William's whole existence was on the brink of collapse? What unfolds next? Indeed, this narrative is just beginning to unfold. Stick around, as this is the moment when everything begins to come apart. It's a Saturday evening. William relaxes on the couch, enjoying a cartoon alongside his 5-year-old son. It's merely another tranquil evening. Nothing out of the ordinary. Florence, his wife, is expected to be attending her work retreat. Suddenly, his phone vibrates. At one time, on the other hand, once more, and then it just keeps going. Initially, he dismisses it. It's likely just a group chat buzzing with chatter about something trivial. Yet, the alerts persist incessantly. Messages, unanswered calls, and even social media notifications from acquaintances long forgotten. Perplexed, he reaches for his phone. A message from his coworker catches his eye first. "William, have you come across this?" Next, another. "I'm at a loss for words. I apologize." His stomach knots up. What is the subject of their discussion? Then a link arrives for him. At this moment, William remains unaware of the revelation that awaits him. He isn't considering Florence. He hasn't shown any signs of anxiety so far. He simply clicks the link just as anyone else might. And that's the moment when time stands still. The video is now loading. It has a gritty texture, captured in dim lighting as if it were shot clandestinely. What about the individuals involved? Utterly unmistakable. Behold, Florence, his spouse, perched on a cozy hotel balcony, enveloped in a sense of intimacy, a beverage cradled in her grasp. Chortling, She is accompanied. Beside her sits Rex Miller. Indeed, that Rex Miller, the renowned sports figure, the man dominating the sports networks, the man who attracts the attention of women effortlessly. What about Florence? She's nestled beside him in an affectionate manner. William stands still, captivated, as the video transitions to a series of photographs. This time, it's within the confines of a hotel room. Florence and Rex sharing a kiss. Then additional. At this moment, William is utterly stunned. His hands become devoid of sensation. Initially, his mind struggles to comprehend the scene before him. This must be an error, playful trick, a statement removed from its original context. However, this is indeed reality. And most troubling of all, it's omnipresent. The online community is fiercely critiquing it. Individuals are circulating the video, crafting humor, and generating memes. The remarks are harsh due to speculation about the athlete's involvement with another famous figure. This revelation probably came from someone within the inner circle, eager to unveil the athlete's hidden liaisons. William is feeling unwell. He can't even recall setting his phone aside. His son remains by his side, blissfully oblivious to the unfolding events. 7 years of wedded bliss. 7 years of unwavering trust. And everyone is paying attention. And the most frustrating aspect? He's the final one to find out. However, this raises an important inquiry. What are William's next steps? What's the best way to approach a situation like this? Alright, let's discover the answer. William is seated in that spot. His mind is racing for solutions. Perhaps there is a reason behind it. Perhaps he is overlooking something. Yet, beneath the surface, he is aware of the reality. Yet, he must reach out to her. She must be the one to tell him. He picks up the phone and dials her number. At one point, no response. He makes another attempt. Silence prevails. By the third time, a fire ignites in his chest. His jaw tightens with tension. Why isn't she answering? She consistently answers. At last, on the fourth attempt, she picks up the phone. Yet, as soon as he catches the sound of her voice, an unsettling feeling arises. She is weeping, frantic, not the remorseful kind of crying, but the sort that resonates with the feeling of being unexpectedly discovered. William, oh my goodness. I was just about to reach out to you. I truly have no idea what's going on. Her voice trembles, hurried. Her breaths come in quick bursts, as if she's striving to maintain her composure. Yet William remains silent. He simply absorbs everything around him. William, you must trust me. It's not real. The video is not genuine. There's an attempt to bring me down. Imitation. The term lingers in the atmosphere. William blinks, attempting to grasp the meaning of her words. Counterfeit? In what way? He simply observed the entire event unfold. He gazed at her face, observing each subtle movement she made. How could it possibly be untrue? Yet Florence remains steadfast in her narrative. Her words spill out rapidly, in a whirlwind of urgency. It has undergone editing. I believe someone is attempting to extort me. I truly do. One must approach the vast expanse of the internet with a discerning eye, William. In that fleeting moment, he nearly finds himself swayed by her words. To accept her is to shatter the illusion of reality. It signifies that his wife remained loyal to him. It signifies that his life is not on the verge of falling apart. However, the reality of guilt is quite complex. The essence resonates through their voice. At this moment, Florence seems unfazed. She appears to be in a state of urgency. At this point, William finds himself ensnared in this very moment. His wife is sobbing on the line, pleading with him to trust her, swearing on everything she holds dear. The online discourse suggests a different perspective. In the recesses of his thoughts, a single question echoes relentlessly. Is she being deceptive or is she being honest? Indeed, he is on the brink of discovery. He chooses silence, refraining from confrontation, holding back accusations for the moment. Instead, he straightforwardly says to her, "Come home now." After a brief moment of uncertainty, she nods in agreement. "All right, I'm on my way." And then William lingers. Moments stretch into eternity. He remains almost motionless on the couch, fixated on the door, his thoughts swirling rapidly. The incessant buzzing of his phone fills the air, a flurry of texts and missed calls. Yet he chooses to turn a blind eye to them all. He's anticipating just one thing: Florence to step through that door. At long last, she takes that step. She enters, her face marked by tears, hands trembling uncontrollably. "William, I promise you, I truly do." However, William? Not a single word escapes his lips. Let's keep the conversation calm and respectful. He simply gazes at her. What about the silence? Carries more weight than any debate could possibly hold. Florence stands there, anticipating his response, longing for him to crumble, to unleash his emotions, to shout. Yet he does not. Instead, he moves past her with a composed demeanor, retrieves her phone from the counter, and discreetly tucks it into his pocket. She stands still. What are you up to? Yet he remains silent. Instead, he takes his keys and departs, fully aware that a debate won't reveal the reality. However, technology will. William heads directly to his friend's house, a tech-savvy individual who has a knack for uncovering the intricacies of a phone's location history. He passes the device to him and utters a single phrase: "Discover her whereabouts." His companion refrains from inquiring. He simply dives into his tasks. And what does he discover? It tears apart the final remnants of hope that William clung to. The GPS data is unmistakable. Florence had never attended a work retreat. Far from it. The timestamps align perfectly with the evening the video was recorded. Where is it situated? The very hotel where she was discovered with Rex. Everything runs smoothly. Unyielding evidence. William sits quietly, gazing at the screen, his breath steady and deliberate. He remains unresponsive. However, at this moment, now he possesses the very thing Florence never anticipated he would acquire: irrefutable proof. And when he returns home, she won't find a way to escape the truth this time. William strides back into the house. Florence stands in the kitchen, her arms tightly crossed over her chest. She gazes at him, probing his expression, attempting to decipher his thoughts. He gently closes the door. He casually reaches into his pocket, retrieves her phone, and slides it across the table with a smooth motion. "I know where you were," he states. His voice carries a soothing quality. Florence's gaze darts to the phone. Her hands quiver ever so slightly, yet she remains silent. "I am aware of your actions." William maintains his calm demeanor. "This is your opportunity. Enough with the deceit." For a moment, she remains motionless, as if her mind is grappling with the need to find a way out. However, there is not a single one. And then she shatters. She sinks into the chair, tears streaming down her cheeks as she hides her face in her hands. "William, I sincerely apologize." He remains still, remains silent, simply observes her unravel. "This outcome was never my intention." She weeps. "I can't quite grasp the reason behind my actions." And then the pleading begins. "William, I beg you, don't go. Please, let's keep our family together." Her words spill out rapidly, filled with urgency, yet William remains motionless. 7 years filled with affection, faith, and the belief that they were creating something genuine. And now everything hinges on this moment. She is in tears. She begs, yet no words can undo her actions. Now this is the moment where many would anticipate an eruption, a heated argument, perhaps even shattered plates or a door being slammed shut. However, William, he engages in none of that. He refrains from raising his voice. He remains composed. He doesn't even inquire about her reasons. Truthfully, there's really nothing more to express. He pivots and strides toward their bedroom, swings open the closet door, retrieves a duffel bag, and begins to pack. Florence observes him intently, gaze expansive. "What on earth are you up to?" "Time is essential for me." His voice comes out flat, devoid of any emotion. "I require some distance." She leaps to her feet, a look of sheer panic etched across her features. "William, I urge you to reconsider this course of action. This can be resolved. He fastens the bag, drapes it over his shoulder, and strides past her in silence. At this moment, he finds himself uncertain about the next steps to take. He struggles to cope with the heaviness of the pain lodged in his chest. He is uncertain whether this marriage can ever be mended. He simply understands that this place is not for him. Not at this moment. He takes hold of his car keys, places the bag in the trunk, and throws in some camping gear. Without a second look at the house, he plunges into the woods, where the only thing awaiting him is his own reflection, enveloped by an expanse of silence. William faces a singular choice ahead of him. Will he remain, or will he abandon everything he knows? Indeed, that's what awaits us in the next chapter. At this moment, William finds himself precisely in the solitude he requires. Only he, the expansive forest, and the burden of all that he has been attempting to understand. However, the essence of solitude is quite intriguing. Your thoughts remain unmuted. It only amplifies their presence. Sitting by the fire, gazing into the dancing flames, William finally allows himself to embrace all his emotions. For the first time since this ordeal commenced, he voices his thoughts, not to anyone in particular, but solely to himself aloud. Perhaps, just perhaps, if he listens to his own voice, he might untangle the chaos swirling in his mind. What is the reason? That's the initial inquiry. What could possibly drive her to jeopardize everything we've created together? 7 years, a residence, a household. Was that not sufficient? Was he not sufficient? He attempts to revisit the narrative of their marriage in his thoughts, searching for the pivotal moment when everything shifted. As soon as she began to seek out something or someone different, perhaps he overlooked the indications. Perhaps he had grown too at ease, too reliant, or maybe it was entirely unrelated to him. Then another idea slips into my mind. A situation he has been attempting to evade. What is it that Rex possesses that I lack? It's a difficult question, yet it persists. Was it the recognition? Where's the cash? What about the attention? Did Florence find stability uninteresting? Was she yearning for thrill? The thrill of being with someone beyond reach? And if that were true, then what did that render him? Is he merely the reliable, unexciting partner she chose to live with? The burden of the idea bears heavily upon him. Did she truly ever love me? That question cuts deep. If the response is negative, if he was merely the secure option, then their whole union was founded on deception. That surpasses the betrayal itself. For if she never genuinely loved him, then everything they created together, every moment, every memory was never authentic. And if she loved him, if she genuinely did, then why wasn't he sufficient? He leans in, elbows perched on his knees, hands rubbing together in a futile attempt to quell their trembling. His head is weighed down, his chest constricted, as though each breath is a battle. He remains uncertain about what causes him the most pain. The notion that Florence may not have loved him as he believed, or the unsettling possibility that she did and still opted to betray him regardless. At this moment, he stands at a crossroads, faced with a decision that could alter his path. Is it possible for me to let this go and progress ahead? That's the most challenging question of all. Florence pleaded with him to remain. She insisted it was an error. She wept, begged, and vowed she would do whatever it took to make things right. Yet, does he trust her? Will he ever be able to see her in the same light again? Rest beside her, free from thoughts of who else might occupy her mind. What if this were just the beginning? What if, years later, she repeats the act? And even if he forgives her, there exists a deeper issue, one that transcends love or trust. What steps can I take to shield my son from this chaos? That's the notion that sends a shiver through his gut. Regardless of the depth of his suffering, the well-being of his son remains paramount. A young child, just 5, caught in a world he can't quite grasp, still perceiving his parents as a united front. If William chooses to leave, what reasoning does he provide for that decision? And if he remains, what sort of precedent is he establishing? Then there's the aspect of this treachery that he never even contemplated. This is more than merely a personal matter. It is accessible to everyone. Everyone is aware, friends, family, colleagues alike. The video has been released. The remarks, the jokes, the murmurs in the shadows. He can already envision the expressions and the sympathy in people's tones when they engage with him. Should he find it in himself to forgive her? Should he decide to remain? Will he ever genuinely break free from the weight of humiliation? He breathes out, observing the chilly mist escape from his mouth. The flames dance and pop nearby, yet he hardly senses their heat. For 7 years, he believed his life was secure, his marriage unbreakable. At this point, he has lost all sense of self. William sits in solitude, acutely aware that when he departs from these woods, a choice awaits him. Will he strive to save his marriage, or will he ultimately choose to release it? And that, dear companions, is a question only he holds the key to. Time has drifted by. The flames have dwindled to glowing coals. The provisions he had brought along were nearly depleted. And now the moment has arrived, a moment to make a choice. William stirs awake, greeted by the distant melody of birdsong. He sits upright in his tent, his hands rubbing together in a futile attempt to summon warmth. Yet he understands that it's not merely the chill that leaves him feeling so numb. The burden of anticipation looms over him. Once he departs from this location, he understands that he cannot remain concealed here indefinitely. Limbo does not constitute a life. The choices he embraces today will shape his destiny. There isn't a straightforward answer or an ideal resolution, yet one undeniable truth remains that he must confront. Florence has made her decision. Now it's his moment to create something of his own. As he drives into the driveway, the burden in his chest has transformed into a steady, substantial presence. Concluding, Florence sits on the couch, her eyes red and swollen from days of tears, waiting inside. She leaps to her feet at the sight of him, a spark of hope illuminating her expression. William, thank goodness. My mind was filled with concern. I would appreciate the opportunity to converse. Yet he interrupts her before she can complete her thought. I am in the process of gathering my belongings. The words strike with the force of a hammer, creating a palpable tension between them. The glimmer of hope in her eyes fades, giving way to sheer panic. Oh, William, I beg you, no. This isn't something you must undertake. This can be resolved. I promise you. He strides past her directly to the bedroom, flings open the closet, and begins to extract his remaining clothes, cramming them into the new bag. He hears her weeping behind him, pleading softly. As he finishes packing, she finds herself on her knees, grasping his hands tightly, her voice trembling with each sob that escapes her lips. Kindly, I am willing to do whatever it takes. Please keep this safe. At last, his gaze descends to her. In that moment, a revelation dawns upon him. She's not shedding tears over his absence. She weeps, overwhelmed by the loss of control she once held over him. And that's the only clarity he requires. He grabs his bag and steps outside. This isn't the conclusion he envisioned for his marriage. Yet, there are moments when conclusions are not destined to be lovely. At times, they are simply essential. And that, dear friends, is the conclusion of William's tale. He experienced the profound loss of his wife, yet through that journey, he discovered something even more significant: his own self. Ultimately, remaining in a fractured marriage does not signify strength. Departing from that which no longer benefits you, that's true power. What actions would you have taken if you were in his situation? Would you have chosen to remain or to leave? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining me, and until we meet again, take care.